First of all, before we start this seminar, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Archie Nathanael Mulyawan, and it's an honor for me to be part of this seminar as Master of Ceremony. With all due respect, I would like to thank to all participants for joining this webinar with main topic about blockchain and its impact on finance and accounting. Regarding to the provisions that apply when activating the Zoom, I wanted to remind that for students, you have to change your name to be name strip name, and for lectures, please change it into lecture code strip name to help committees be easier while filling the data. That information is only for BINUSian. And I would like to remind to all of you to fill the registration data before we start this seminar. The link for the registration data is already on the slide. At this moment, I would like to welcome Mrs. Ang Swatlin Lindawati, SA, M.Com Hons, PhD, CSRS, CSRA, CMA, as Head of Accounting Study Program, BINUS University. Please welcome Mrs. Linda. Mrs. Linda, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you, Archie. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. May Allah bless us. Good morning, my distinguished speaker, Mr. Erwin Gunawan, B.Sc, CEO for Indosystem, and Mr. Manish Gidwani, ACCA M.Sc, CEO and founder of London School of Accountancy and Finance. My respected colleagues of all accounting lectures, also my dear students and participants. First of all, I would like to thank you to two speakers, Mr. Erwin Gunawan and Ms. Manish Gidwani, who provide their time to attend in this seminar and will give us many opportunity, insight, knowledge regarding blockchain technology in financial industry. As we know, technology has become an opportunity role in the financial industry. The presence of the blockchain technology could improve companies' performance by producing quality, acute and capital that could be a basis for considering the company's step in the future. What should be considered when using the blockchains, and the blockchain technology could be used in accounting and financial sector. So, on behalf of the BINUS University Accounting Finance Study Program, I, Lindawati, as the head of accounting program, will welcome all of you and thank you for coming to this seminar, and I hope you will enjoy it about all the event in this seminar. Thank you. I give back to the Archie as a master ceremony. Thanks.
Thank you, Mrs. Linda, for the great opening. After that, I would like to welcome Ms. Hani Karunia as a representative from Association of Chartered Certified Accountants, or as we know as ACCA. Please welcome Ms. Hani. To Ms. Hani, the time is yours.
Okay, selamat pagi, good morning, and assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hope you can hear my voice. All right. Before I start, on behalf of ACCA Indonesia, I would like to say thank you to BINUS University accounting team for this event that is championed by Pak Ignatius Edward and Pak Ignatius Kevin Deniswara for the amazing coordination and collaboration to make today's webinar or info session happen. And my heartfelt thank you also goes to Ibu Lindawati, PhD, the head of accounting study program, for this opportunity. I really appreciate all of you, and thank you to our amazing speakers today that has given their time to be with us in the session. Bapak Manish Gidwani, ACCA M.Sc, as a CEO and founder of LSIF, and also Bapak Erwin Gunawan, B.Sc, CEO and founder of Medical Academy. Last but not least, thank you to all the participants today for spending their time with us. And certainly, I hope that all of you will gain something from this session. As the head of ACCA, it is natural for me to give an overview of what is ACCA and words of encouragement before the session today. ACCA is the Association of Chartered Certified Accountants. We're a thriving global community of 219,000 members and 527,000 students based in 179 countries that upholds the highest professional and ethical values. We believe that accountancy is a cornerstone profession of society that supports both the private and public sectors. Having said that, every day ACCA professional accountants support people and organizations in making sound decisions and doing the right thing. We build public trust by creating an inclusive profession with people from all backgrounds, bound by a common global code of ethics and committed to updating their skills to meet ever-changing needs. Today, we would like to bring the focus on one of the trends in the industry or our professional occupation. That is the combination of one of the technology expertise in the accounting practice. The word expertise is being underlined here as the world has grown to a severe competition, especially as we know with the pandemic of COVID-19 that arise. We need to prepare ourselves to be ready to get the jobs that are available now, which has become more competitive than ever. This imperative presents a golden opportunity for the accountancy profession to build on its strong foundations and evolve, an opportunity to adapt and play its future part in building and protecting business and organizations for the long term. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to repurpose the profession for the modern world of work and to transform the profession in the minds of a younger generation coming into the workplace who may have misplaced ideas or what a career in accountancy truly means, but who have ambitions for vocations with purpose. In today's world, surely there are few greater career imperative than this. It is a call to arms for accountancy to be reimagined as a profession that can offer brilliant, exciting, and meaningful careers to the future workforce, who can play their part in building sustainable organizations fit for the digital age. Without further ado, I also would like to start the session today and give the floor to Pak Manish and Pak Erwin for their valuable knowledge sharing. Thank you so much for this opportunity and enjoy.
Thank you, Ms. Hani. And now is the time and my pleasure to welcome our moderator, Mr. Kevin Deniswara, S.A. M.Ak. Previously, let me introduce a brief highlight of Mr. Kevin Deniswara. Kevin Deniswara has been in the education sector since 2016. He worked in the Rector's Office, BINUS University for 2.5 years, and currently serves as Deputy Head of the Accounting Study Program. He was also nominated as the best graduate of the Master Accounting Study Program from BINUS University in 2019. Kevin Deniswara has also conducted several research in which two previous research discussed about big data analytics and blockchain technology. The first research was talk about big data analytics, literature study on how big data works towards the accountant millennial generation. Secondly, the main topics are the rise of advanced technology, literature studies on blockchain technology to supply chain management and its impact towards COVID-19 pandemic. Well then, please welcome Mr. Kevin Deniswara. Mr. Kevin, you may proceed.
Okay, thank you, Archie. Hello, everyone. My name is Kevin Deniswara. And first of all, I would like to thank to Mrs. Lindawati and Ms. Hani Karunia and committees from Accounting and Finance Lab for giving me the best opportunity to become a moderator in this amazing international seminar held by BINUS University in collaborations with ACCA, with the main topic about blockchains and its impact on accounting and finance. Okay, first of all, I would like to thank to all the participants that joined international webinar seminar today. To all BINUSians, welcome. And also for another non-BINUSian participant, another participant from various university, thank you to join this seminar. Yeah, and welcome to BINUS University also. So fantastic. Today we have two spectacular speakers, which both of them are CEO and founder of the company. The first is Mr. Erwin Gunawan, B.Sc, as CEO of Indosystem, and Mr. Manish Gidwani, ACCA, M.Sc, as CEO and founder of London School of Accountancy and Finance. Before we move further, I would like to read brief information about Mr. Erwin Gunawan and Mr. Manish Gidwani. Erwin Gunawan is the CEO of Indosystem, established in the US in 2002. Indosystem is an agile software engineering company that has provided quality services and product to its clients ranging from a startup, US and Indonesia government agency to enterprise. After the past 2 decades of being a professional and entrepreneur in US, Erwin has put himself in the front of technology and innovation, working on implementing AI, artificial intelligence, IoT, Internet of Things, and the blockchain technology. His passion is to create world-changing products that will improve the quality of life. In addition, he founded the first blockchain education institution in Indonesia, Merkle Academy, subsidiary of Merkle House, an end-to-end blockchain solutions and development company that helps startup and enterprise to turn their ideas to become impactful and profitable businesses. Graduated with an honors from the Ohio State University, the Max M. Fisher College of Business. Erwin has a degree in Bachelor of Science in Business and Administration, majoring in Supply Chain Management with a minor in Transportation and Logistics and Marketing. So, go on to the next speaker. Mr. Manish Gidwani has been an ACCA member since 2001. He is the CEO and founder of London School of Accountancy and Finance, the only gold ELP in Indonesia. He was the first Indonesian to complete the ACCA qualification in the shortest time frame of 2 years. Only 2 years. He has been in professional education and training industry for almost 15 years, mainly devoting himself to his vision of widening access to education. He is renowned IFRS and ISA trainer and has taught in reputable corporate clients of LSAF such as Unilever, Prudential, HSBC, BP, and conducted train-the-trainer sessions for Indonesian Institute of Chartered Accountants and ACCA accredited university partners. So now he is CEO and founder at PT London Global Consulting, CEO and founder at LSAF Global Pte Ltd Singapore, CFO, Chief Financial Officer for Bernas Yogyakarta Media, Audit Committee Member for PT Aviatur Travel, Bernas Group Asia Indonesia in 18 companies, Business Partner IFRS Convergence Service Partner, or COSO Internal Control Implementation at KAP Morse Rowland Asia Pacific. CEO and founder Strategic Management, ACCA Student Recruitment and Corporate Client Business, and Quality Assurance, London School of Accountancy and Finance, ACCA Gold ALP, and so many certificates he get and join the meeting. I wanted to remind all the participants that questions will be given at the end of the sections. After Mr. Erwin and Mr. Manish finish their explanations, you may give the question. Well then, please welcome our first speaker who will give us insight about blockchain technology. Without further ado, Mr. Erwin Gunawan. Mr. Erwin, the floor is yours.
Hello, selamat pagi. Thank you so much for the kind introductions, Mr. Kevin. I'm glad to be here. Thank you for the opportunity from BINUS, Bu Lindawati, Miss Hani, Pak Manish. Thank you so much for having me here, and to you all, students from Bina Nusantara, from other university too, to join us this morning. So thank you so much. Okay, so my name is Erwin again. I'm the founder and CEO of Merkle Academy and PT Indosystem. I would love to talk to you guys a little bit about the blockchain technology, high level of the technology and how the blockchain can be beneficial for finance and accounting industry. All right, so could you please move to the next page? All right, so a lot of us knows Bitcoin, more than blockchain technology. So I like to talk a little bit about what is Bitcoin and what is blockchain, how they different. Can you please next page? Okay, before we go to the video, let me explain a little bit of the general understanding of blockchain technology and Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is pretty much a digital currency. We all know, and it's just one of the example. Bitcoin. There are many out there. Ethereum's, Litecoins. There are many, and people use them for different purposes. Let us just watch the video, and then we can go further into the slides.
When you vote, have you ever wondered whether your ballot is actually counted? If you meet someone online, how do you know they're who they say they are? When you buy coffee that's labeled fair trade, what makes you so certain of its origin? To be sure, really sure, about any of those questions, you'd need a system where records could be stored, facts could be verified by anyone, and security is guaranteed. That way, no one could cheat the system by editing records, because everyone using the system would be watching. Systems like this are on the horizon, and the software that powers them is called a blockchain. Blockchains store information across a network of personal computers, making them not just decentralized, but distributed. This means no central company or person owns the system, yet everyone can use it and help run it. This is important because it means it's difficult for any one person to take down the network or corrupt it. The people who run the system use their computer to hold bundles of records submitted by others, known as blocks, in a chronological chain. The blockchain uses a form of math called cryptography to ensure that records can't be counterfeited or changed by anyone else. You've probably heard of the blockchain's first killer app, a form of digital cash called Bitcoin that you can send to anyone, even a complete stranger. Bitcoin is different from credit cards, PayPal, or other ways to send money because there isn't a bank or financial middleman involved. Instead, people from all over the world help move the digital money by validating others' Bitcoin transactions with their personal computers, earning a small fee in the process. Bitcoin uses the blockchain by tracking records of ownership over this digital cash, so only one person can be the owner at a time and the cash can't be spent twice, like counterfeit money in the physical world can. But Bitcoin is just the beginning for blockchains. In the future, blockchains that manage and verify online data could enable us to launch companies that are entirely run by algorithms, making self-driving cars safer, help us protect our online identities, and even track the billions of devices on the Internet of Things. These innovations will change our lives forever, and it's all just beginning. To learn more about the urgent future of the blockchain, please visit iftf.org/blockchain futures lab.
Erwin?
Hello. We are having problem with the video.
The video is already finished, Mr. Erwin.
Oh, okay. Awesome. All right. Okay. Can you please move to the next slide?
The slide is now in what is Bitcoin, Pak Erwin?
Okay, what I'm seeing still is the video. Let me.
Okay, I think you have like a screen freeze or something.
Yep. Let me.
Jonathan, could you please turn off the video? And then back to PowerPoint.
All right. All right, so while we're waiting for my slides, as you guys can see, the blockchain technology is what power Bitcoin and the rest of cryptocurrency out there. The system, the platform, the technology that being used keeps each other honest, pretty much. There is no intermediary banks, no government, no regulators, I guess what I'm trying to say, involved in the ecosystem. So it's decentralized, peer-to-peer, pretty much. All right. Are we going back to my slide? Are you guys able to see my slide?
Yes, Mr. Erwin.
Okay, well, let me.
What is Bitcoin?
I can see my slide. Okay, just a second. Let me. Okay, I'm just gonna use my slide here. I'm gonna use my own copy.
Okay.
For some reason, I cannot use my slide. I cannot see my slide from. Okay.
Okay, Mr. Erwin.
Are you guys able to see my slide?
Yeah.
Your slide now. Your PowerPoint.
Okay. All right, there we go.
Okay.
All right. So I'm on what is blockchain. Are you guys on the same slide as me? What is blockchain?
Yes. What is blockchain?
Awesome. Okay. So what is blockchain? Blockchain is pretty much, to me, my way of describe it is a sexy ledger, buku besar ya, a sexy buku besar yang we all can share with all the nodes participant in the ecosystem. And blockchain is pretty much fundamentally an accounting technology. Bitcoin versus blockchain, this is a simple illustrations how the technology power cryptocurrency, digital assets. I have a simple illustrations of how blockchain works. A simple example of Alice want to send money to Bob. I experienced this myself too. When I first moved to Indonesia, we have a limit on how much money we can carry, right? And that's not enough for me to live in this country. So I have my friend use Bitcoin to send me money. First, I used my bank to send me money. It took about 6 days. So my bank in the US, Chase Bank, they work with intermediary bank from Singapore or Hong Kong, and then the intermediary bank work with my BCA, bank BCA in Indonesia. to receive the money from the US bank. It took about 6 days for me, 6 business days to transfer money from the US to Indonesia. That's one example that I have transferring money traditionally, I guess. That's for lack of better word. And I used blockchain after that. My friend asked my wallet address, and then he transferred. He put Bitcoin into my wallet. He just gave me one link, one code for me to put in my wallet. Within 2 minutes, I put my code. Bam, the Bitcoin was in my wallet. So as you guys can see, the difference from 6 days to only 2 minutes. And then in Indonesia, I use like exchange company like Indodex to change my Bitcoin into rupiah. It's very quick and simple process too. So that illustration can show to you guys how long it takes using the technology first conventional way, and then the back end of how the money being transferred is what I have here. So when Alice want to send money to Bob, the first block is being created online. The first block, all the information represent the transactions, and then the block will be distributed among the nodes, among the party in the networks. So it can be Indodex, participant wallets, and if it's Bitcoin, the miners who win the contracts. So being distributed, and then after that, those in the network approve the transaction and validate it, make sure the transaction is valid and legit. After that, the block is being added to the chain of block. The transaction is happening, it's valid. There is one person named Alice, she owns this much Bitcoin, and the Bitcoin will be transferred to Bob, has his own digital wallet with their own key card. And then after that, Bob will get the Bitcoins on his wallet, in his wallet. So this is a simple illustration on how blockchain works when we talk about transactions, Bitcoins. All right. So the advantage of blockchain technology, it's decentralized. So blockchain allows peer-to-peer transactions to happen, protected, secure, peer-to-peer. Let me just elaborate on this. One of the reasons we have an entity, for example, we use intermediary banks, because we want to make sure that we are safe, we are protected. That's before blockchain. Now with blockchain, decentralized, we don't need intermediary. We can have secure transaction using the technology. That's the second point right here, because of the way the technology being coded using cryptography, and the way data being stored to millions of nodes in the network. It's very, very difficult to break and to hack. Okay, next slide. The advantage of blockchain, unalterables. The beauty.
Mr. Erwin?
Any changes you made, anything that you do with the ledger, everyone will be able to see and have the copy for it. And then distributed computer processing. Blockchain technology actually distribute the processing of transaction to all the nodes that meet the criteria. Okay. Blockchain key features, propagations. So the transaction being originated by one user is propagate to networks, identical ledger. So everyone will receive the same copy, like what I mentioned earlier, without one central controller. Permanence, everything we put, all the transactions, the record is permanence, cannot be removed or cannot be tampered. Programmability, This is one of the beauty why the technology is very, very powerful, because it's programmability status. The blockchain technology is very, very programmable depending on the needs. Therefore, it's being used by many industries in the world, from supply chains, banking, finance, accounting, to many more. Blockchain consensus. I like to explain a little bit about different consensus. This is just high-level explanations. So pretty much we have two different kinds: proof of works and proof of stakes. Proof of works is for the miners, for the people who do the transactions out there. Proof of works is pretty much where the algorithm rewards miner who solve mathematical problems with the goal of validating transactions and creating new blocks. So if you heard about mining, blockchain mining, people have huge server rooms and servers running 24/7 to mine blockchains. They use proof of works. So they get the transactions, blocks, and then they solve the mathematical problems. And then once the block ready and put in the chains, and everybody receive it. And then they get a little percentage from their works. And then now we have proof of stakes. So proof of stakes, the creator of the new block is chosen in a deterministic way, depending on the wealth, also defined as stakes. So proof of stakes is another way of the miners to get projects. It depends on how much coins, how much wealth they put in the network. All right, next slide. Potential of blockchain. So blockchain technology offer new different ways to exchange values, to represent digital asset. It's pretty much creating trust, automatic trust in the online digital world. When we use Tokopedia, to buy stuff, we know Tokopedia guarantee us whatever we buy to whoever merchants, everything that we receive will be guaranteed by Tokopedia, right? With the technology, it doesn't need to have Tokopedia. The trust is automatically given when we from peer-to-peer. Blockchain also can help streamline business processes. This is for example, accounting. Every time, I will explain more in the next slide, but business processes can be tremendously streamlined and reduced. Blockchain also has potential to increase efficiency, so eliminating errors. The technology will automatically calculate, will automatically do all the work for you. Also, the technology can simplify and standardize payment in different ways, from currency exchange, anything. Blockchain also could bring an end to an escrow account, like the intermediary banks. It will be no longer needed because the technology will automatically, does all the works. All right. So my next slide is blockchain business values. According to Gartner forecast, the business value that blockchain will bring in the next 10 years or so is about $3.1 trillion US. One of the reasons is because it will be used across the industry. I like to compare with internet 10 years ago. 10, 15 years ago, internet is like, oh yeah, I know internet is for communicating, right? For texting people, messaging people, for emailing people, but that's not what internet does. All internet does. No, internet is bigger, a lot bigger than that, right? In our daily life right now, we use internet, online, from buying stuff, from ordering food, everything is done online. Blockchain is the same way. Blockchain is comparable to internet 10 years ago. The technology can be used for a lot of things. All right, so I like to explain a little bit here. Blockchain in accounting. So company A and company B, and there are many different what you call it, entities involved in reconciling in accountings, from court, bank, tax authority, auditor, and different companies. With blockchains, the ledger will be in one, so everybody will receive all the informations, all the works, and reconciliation will be so much easier. Error will be eliminated. Just a little illustrations for you guys. And then record keeping, auditing, everything will be done automatically. Everything will be done in the blockchain technology. Simple examples, blockchain in finance, remittance, like what I explained before. There are company already been doing it already out there. Allow money to be wired quicker, a lot cheaper. Payment gateway. Nowadays they use digital currency to pay. Trade finance, using smart contract that automatically being done with the technology to minimize error, to reduce a lot of errors. Everything will be done automatically. There are company like Trade IX, they have a platform for trade finance. The impact, like what I said earlier, this is example of many industries will be impacted with the technology, from agriculture, automotive, financial services, healthcare, insurance, properties. Property, for example, some part of the world, like China, Singapore, they built a building and they use the technology for ownership. So they built the building worth, for example, 1 million Bitcoin, and we can own the building by owning the tokens that they have, for example. All right, so we are at Merkle House, we provide blockchain solution, pretty much end-to-end blockchain solutions. We able to develop the technology and implement the technology in different industries. We have a consulting teams that really will understand the business processes and everything, so to make sure the blockchain can be implemented correctly. So this is Merkle Academy. I work with Pak Manish from London School to really spread the word about the technology, how technology can help our life and can better the future. So thank you so much for the opportunity. I'll give the floor to the moderator.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Erwin. It was an entertaining presentations. And now, please welcome Mr. Manish Gidwani. Mr. Manish, the floor is yours.
Hi, everyone. Good morning. Can I request the previous slides to be in so we can talk about the impact of what Pa Erwin said to the world of accounting and finance? Yeah, Mr. Erwin is a very humble man. I think he has done more than what he is saying in terms of the implementation of blockchain in Indonesia. So I want to explain quickly about how exactly blockchain impacts the finance world. Yeah, if you while the slides are being played, one of the things as accountants, as finance professionals, we are always busy doing reconciliations we reconcile between our records and the records of the customer. And so every month we say, oh, this is what the customer owe us. According to the customer, that's what the customer owe us. And that's where you will see that people have spent so much time in reconciling with blockchain, which is basically a joint record, a joint register with the customer and us, and which is joined in that, like how you have Google Docs, a shared document. Yeah, so whatever is shared, whatever is amended in that document is immediately appeared live. And if anybody amends it, we will know who did the amendment. So in that way, you will be able to see that exactly you don't have to reconcile anymore between what a customer records in us, because we are holding the same record. Yeah, so that's the beauty of blockchain. And I have referred to clients, who have, imagine a revenue of 25 to 30 billion rupiah per year, and imagine the kind of reconciliation that they have to do. Yeah, so the lot of work is being affected because of blockchain. You can make things, a lot of things easier. If you, before we go this, can you go back to the previous slides? Yeah, just before this.
Jonathan?
Yeah. Go back. I think because we had a gap in the slides earlier. Yeah, this one. I think I wanted to quickly say that there is a blockchain for finance and business certification. Next slide. Pak Erwin, can I give you just a few minutes to explain that this blockchain implementation for finance professionals particularly talks about what features, before I talk about the impact?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Are you able to see the slides?
Yes, I am able to now. Yep. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so this is what we have with collaboration with Pak Manish. This is pretty much our curriculums. Day 1, day 2. Day 1 is orientation, so we will explain the history of money. From back then, barter, gold, paper currency to digital currency now. So cryptography, how to send data securely, blockchain and data structure, type of cryptocurrencies out there, primary versus secondary market in the cryptocurrency. So day 1, we have a very good high-level understanding of cryptocurrency and blockchain technology. And then day 2, we will dig deep into the digital currency itself. Bitcoin, since it's the most used and famous cryptocurrency out there. So we will explain a little bit how Bitcoin works, how the infrastructure, the technology behind the Bitcoin works. And we have a scenario demo for you guys too. And then how the transactions occur, using Indodex in Indonesia, for example, how to transfer from wallet to another, from wallet to another.
Next.
Yeah. Okay, and then day 3, we explain the Ethereum. Ethereum has its own token, cryptocurrency, but Ethereum is also has a blockchain platform to be used for different things. Therefore, in day 3, we will talk not about the cryptocurrency, but the technology, what Ethereum has, and how the technology can help different industry. Finance and accounting, for examples. And then we have Etherscan there, Etherscan, and okay, and then module 2, blockchain programming. Okay, day 4, this is how, using the Ethereum technology, blockchain technology, we program we create smart contract. You don't have to be a programmer. This is just basic coding. very simple, basic codings that you guys can follow. Can follow. Everything, the structure is there already. Ethereum has all the environment, so you just have to follow to be able to code, to programs, and make smart contracts. And this is things that we also will teach, creating ERC20 tokens, so you guys can have your own tokens. Pak Manish can have Pak Manish token, and maybe can be the next Bitcoin, Pak.
or the BINUS coin.
Or the BINUS coin, yes, that's it. Yeah, maybe in the future, to pay tuitions, will be cryptocurrency can be used, to make things easier. Yeah, and then day 5, we also will build different applications using the Ethereum and learning different algorithm, different languages, just to understand more, to create smart contract and to really illustrate how the blockchain technology works. All right, next slide, please. Yeah. So day 6. Yeah, so day 6 is what permission blockchain like Hyperledger by IBM and how it works. IBM has the same blockchain infrastructure too that we can use, called Hyperledger. And then working with the course project white paper. So creating white paper. What is white paper? White paper is like what you call it, a structure to follow. Like what you want to use the blockchain for. What are you going to use the token for? How many tokens you're going to create, and what for? How the structure, the ecosystem, the flow that you guys going to create.
Yeah. I just want to say something, Pa Erwin. For Hyperledger, particularly, another application that is so useful is that the fact, you, like I said, a company with many branches. Yeah, banks have 170 to 180 branches. When I used to audit back then in EY, I used to be focused on financial services, and the amount of reconciliations that are done in between those branches. If you have a big group with many subsidiaries, so much of intercompany reconciliations, and I cannot imagine the kind of joy they will have seeing this blockchain technology, because you don't have to do that intercompany reconciliation. Everything is hosted in a joint register, so it's so easy to trace where the intercompany transaction came from. And talking about this white papers and smart contract, the whole way of financial management has changed, because now people are talking about ICO, initial coin offering. And as long as you have a clear model whether you want your token to be having an underlying meaning you can either underlying it with a property, underlying it with a utility, that okay, with this coin you can pay tuition fees, you can buy, if you are in a hotel, you can buy the rooms. Yeah, so utility, yeah, or equity. So anything can be done within that blockchain technology, because now everything is direct between the peer to peer. So yeah, I mean, this excites me every time Erwin talks about this. Go ahead, Erwin.
Yes, sir. Thank you. All right. So next slide. Okay. So next slide, blockchain, accounting, and finance. So day 7 and 8, we will talk how the technology really can help, accounting and finance industry. Use cases, examples, and what companies out there use the technology for payment, remittance, digital identity. Yeah, for example, that's a big issue. Digital identity theft happen everywhere in the world. I mean, from famous American Express credit card company Chase Bank to Pentagon, they being hacked, almost every day. Once a year, we always hear how those hacker able to get a lot of data. with the blockchain technology, that can be eliminated. So credit scoring systems, you know, a country like the US, for example, they have very good credit scoring system, you know, to monitor who is Erwin, for example, right? What is my score, and can I be trusted, you know? And the technology will have that scoring system given in the future. You know, every one of us who in the network who use the blockchain will automatically has history, who you are, who we are, and based on that, you know, we can get loan credits and everything else. So we will explain a lot of use cases and in details how the technology being used out there. The same with day 8, you know, what the technology being used in finance. Marker DAO, you know, stable coins, how they use the coin to change, to disrupt the finance industry, and so on. So this is we will give little detailed examples of how the technology being used pretty much day 7 and day 8. All right.
Yeah.
Next slide. Okay, all right. So day 9 and 10, this is just continually talking about how the blockchain implemented, you know, from finance and accounting to trading, you know, how can we trade different goods, you know, using the blockchains as a technology, as a host. And then day 10, we will talk about policy, you know, like around the world, yeah, cryptocurrency, blockchain technology, it cannot be denied. You know, the technology is there, you know, in front of us, and it can help a lot of industry, a lot of use cases, you know, it can better. So the government in all over the world, they start to acknowledge, they start to, well, I guess we need to work with this technology. We need to work with Bitcoin instead of it's illegal, you know, Bitcoin illegal, cannot be used. Now they're starting to realize how powerful the technology. So instead of making a law illegal, we need to do something to govern the cryptocurrency, to govern the technology, to see, to exploit more, I guess, you know, the technology for the better. So day 10, we will talk a little bit about that's how different countries have different policies to govern technology, blockchain technology. I believe that's it. Day 10 is the final day. Yeah.
So thank you, Pa Erwin. So I want to give a broader perspective. Next slide. Yeah. So my question to the audience is: are you ready for this kind of disruption? You are studying finance and accounting, and you're going to come out, and your skills, if you focus only on technical, which is good to learn the finance and accounting technical things about how do we have accounting treatments, how it is important to learn IFRS, you know, because the world is standardized using IFRS, but it's also important to see that what is the use of all these reports. If you are not able to convert data into insights, you know, what can I use it for, then everything is meaningless. Yeah, so you'll notice there's a huge change in the whole profession, that now our focus as professionals is really to bring in insights. How can I help the business in making decisions? How can I make things easier, not make things difficult? You know, not make things more complex. How can I cut cost in using such blockchain technology? So that is my question. And you may be thinking, okay, I need to only have one set of skills, which is technical in accounting, or technical in technology, or technical in management, or I want to be the best in business strategy. You know, in the current situation, because of the disruption, my observation is that CFO leaders, they can't be specialized in only one thing. They need to know all of this. They need to know what is the impact of the blockchain technology. Everybody fears this change. Oh, because of blockchain, I don't need intermediary anymore. You know, borrowing and lending will disappear. So that means what? I mean, I don't need an intermediary like a bank. That means banks are very afraid. So that's why banks have started fintech, where the lender and the borrower, instead of going through a bank, you know, you put your money in the bank, and the bank lends the money that you deposit and then gives it to the borrower. Now you can do peer-to-peer lending, you know. So with that, banks are afraid, so they started fintech. Banks are also, you know, if you notice, the number of physical branches may not be needed anymore. Another example is, you know, when you have applications like Gojek, you have, you know, the company which organizes the owners of the car and the users of the car. Instead of going through an intermediary, which is the Gojek app, actually you can have direct transaction. So these are things that are going to create major changes. Yeah, and of course, by the time you graduate, you will see that what you have learned, and if you don't prepare for this disruption, you will be left out. Yeah, so that's the bitter truth. So it's important to learn the whole business processes, not only on one specialization. Yeah. So next. Yeah, so I wanted to tell you about this industry 4.0, the impact of where all technologies now are. We already had internet, we already had computers, but now all the technologies are joining forces, are emerging. Yeah, so that means it's not only one technology that is needed. It is finance, accounting, and blockchain. Finance, accounting, cloud. That kind of combination. Yeah, so that's where industry 4.0 is, where technologies are being emerged. Next. Yeah, so there's a major disruption in the business model itself. How do you do business? Yeah, next. You'll see that the major changes are involving big data, Internet of Things. Your focus now is on the customer itself, instead of focusing on the product. Yeah, and you notice one of the things I love this is the extended enterprise. If you can zoom in on the extended enterprise, you'll notice that now, if you are focusing, okay, this is my company. Yeah, and therefore I will decide my value. What is the added value to that product? That was the old way of thinking. The new way of thinking is each company's value chains can actually be combined. For example, I do not want to keep stocks in my company because warehousing is expensive. You know, keeping stocks, there's a risk. Inventory risk is there. So what do? You go and make arrangement with the supplier that, look, why not I give you access to let's have a joint register under using this blockchain, that when you are able to see exactly my stock levels in my company, then whenever it reaches to that reorder level, automatically the system can place an order. You know, so the supplier will already have a joint register. So you know, previously, in order to have that, you have to give the supplier access to your computer, but now you don't have to do that. You just have to have a joint register, a joint block with the supplier, and that will allow you to save so much of savings for the company, because in terms of stock level management, there's a huge change. Even in terms of you know, the way we do audit. When we are doing auditing previously, if you see the audit procedures that we used to make, you know, visit the client, do physical inspection, you know. But if your stock levels are, and your auditor account is being in a joint register, you'll able to see exactly, firstly, you cannot manipulate the value, the number of your stock. because the stock levels, the stock information is stored in a blockchain. So because you cannot change based on your liking, so the auditor can have access to that block. Secondly, that stock information, because the auditor has direct access, he knows that even if I want to do physical inspection, I will be able to see that these stocks, even where they are currently, is easily monitored. So you notice even the way we do audit is also already going to have a major effect. Another example with the impact on the audit is, normally we do receivable confirmation. So we send letter to the receivable that can you confirm this is the amount that you owe to our customer. We send supplier confirmation. But again, if you are having that block of the shared block of information, the shared register, the distributed ledger with the customer and with the supplier, you don't have to do this receivable confirmation anymore. Even in terms of ownership, we will always worry, can you prove that this land, this building belongs to you? Then we will ask, can you show me how legal title deed, your ownership? Is it in the form of ACCA? Can you show me that proof of ownership? But if you have a tokenized asset, you can exactly know who is the latest owner. Because like, for example, in Indonesia, one land, and you're buying a land, you're always so worried that, is it true that this land really belongs to you? Because one land can have many owners in Indonesia, because you can, I do not know. There are so many ways of manipulation of who is the real owner of this particular land. But with the current blockchain, you know exactly when did the change of ownership happen. Previously, in this year, the land belonged to this person. Then the token was bought by this person. So you exactly have a flow. So if you imagine that your land registry is tokenized in Indonesia, that will save a lot of corruption and a lot of fraud that happens in the ownership and management of such assets. That's why a lot of misperception is there regarding the fact that blockchain is all about Bitcoin. That is so not true, because blockchain, like what Erwin said, it's an accounting technology. Because it allows you to interact with various parties in a shared document. That's an amazing thing. So I want you to change your perspective today, that blockchain is not only Bitcoin. Bitcoin is only one of the tokens that were created. Yeah, of course, the downside is Bitcoin doesn't have an underlying. But what I'm saying, finance professionals can create underlying. They can create underlying assets, underlying utility, underlying function to that blockchain. Yeah, so understand that blockchain allows value systems to be connected. Next. Yeah, also from AI, there are a lot of disruptions. Next. So I have identified these technologies that are 6 technologies that affect the future of finance and accounting. And today's highlight is blockchain, but there's also data analytics, cloud, robotic process automation, AI, and social media technology. Can you play the video of how a future professional will look like, so we understand that how is your future role like? Jonathan.
Jonathan, could you please play the video? Okay.
Being a CFO in today's world means always being a step ahead. Oracle, run projections with acquisition bid range increased by 20%.
Hey, Mom. Can we go to the mountains this weekend? Maddie and Tara are going, and they really want to meet up.
I've got an acquisition today, and it might get complicated, so let's see how it goes.
Oracle, show me revenue by product. Hey,
Meredith, the new board member, Hannah, says there's a competing bid.
I already reran the financials with the updated revenue data and higher bid numbers.
On it, as always.
Oracle, increase supply chain lead times by 1 week for the India facilities. What does the new merger mean for our debt-to-equity ratio over the next 8 quarters?
Will be higher for the first 2 quarters following the merger, but will stabilize during the 3rd quarter.
How's it looking?
Pretty good. Quarterly bookings are above estimates.
Workforce impact?
Our intelligence performance management system is suggesting that we get 100 reps to get $300 million in sales.
What's the impact of the acquisition on finances with the new bid range?
What about additional supply chain costs?
Our increased production capacity will allow us to reach customers more quickly, more than making up for a 17% increase in cost.
And what about security and compliance standards, slowing down integration?
With our integrated cloud platform, integrations are streamlined and global compliance is always up to date.
The competing bid may increase the purchase price. Will the synergy still be sufficient to justify the price?
We've modeled several competing scenarios and are in a position of strength to increase our bid by 20% and still have the deal be accretive. I mean, this could be really big for us.
Well, I think it's time for a vote. All those in favor?
The competitive bid lead came in this morning. How does she do it?
It's Meredith. She's Superwoman.
Because when you're CFO, tomorrow starts today.
Isn't that amazing? How your future career will look like, yeah? Where you're dealing with data in a way that is helping you to move things. And, you know, one of the things people are so afraid of being in the finance and accounting function is, I'm never going to go home. I'm going to have a terrible life. I'm going to sit in one corner, die with numbers, yeah? But can you imagine that your life is much more easier? In fact, now your job is to really understand business as a whole and able to see that, most of my CFO friends now, if I ask them, how did you reach to this role? Well, they have various backgrounds. They have experience in HR, they have experience in marketing, they have experience in technology, they have experience in procurement, they have experience in finance and accounting, of course. And these are the people who get that kind of positions. So don't restrict yourself of this kind of exposure. Even in your education, in your studies, oh, I'm a student of major in accounting. So if you're just going to focus on that, you may not reach where you want to reach. Okay, I am learning accounting. I need to learn coding. I need to learn my business strategies. I need to learn blockchain. I need to have a professional qualification. You know, these are all that is needed. You can't have silos education, because the world is not operating in a silo anymore. The world is operating in interconnectedness. Yeah. So I think that's one thought that I want to put on your for your reflection. Next slide. Yeah. So you notice that how fintech services are coming in because of blockchain. This application called Zopa, Prosper, on deck, borrowing money. Yeah. So lending and borrowing is connected directly. So banks are at a big risk because now the lenders and borrowers can deal directly. Transfer of money, transfer-wise, foreign currency, money transfer, credit analysis. Even in this video that we watched earlier, a due diligence process. If people are always afraid that, oh, once I buy this company, and the moment I buy, then I really get to discover things that I didn't know before. Maybe because it's so easy to do window dressing. It's so easy to manipulate accounts. But if your financial statements are hosted in a blockchain setting, and the investor will have credibility, because you can't manipulate. You cannot put new entries into the blockchain without everybody knowing, so even if your boss asks you to do wrong things, you can't do it. Yeah. But with this, because everything is known to everyone, is the security is so strong. That's why people say that blockchain is related to fraud and money laundering. These are some wrong uses of blockchain. But actually, if you use it for the right purpose, blockchain is actually a amazing technology to bring things together. So the credibility is even higher. Why things have gone in the form of money laundering? Because people say that, oh, I can transfer money from one country to another without checking for sources. What was the source of money? So yeah, so this is something that regulators need to work with the blockchain technology instead of restricting it. Even how fraud happens when you make your token and your token doesn't have a strong underlying, you're simply buying a coin. It's like you're buying a share which doesn't have any strong business. So that's why, in fact, if you as finance and business professionals, you will be able to make very strong white paper that based on this arrangements, based on this business model, this is the value of the token. Yeah. So that's it. Yeah. So fraud protection, payments, financial advice, insurance, compliance. Next. Yeah. So from physical branches to app-based, smaller banks will be taking over the current big guys. The focus is on user experience. Yeah. And you are co-creating things with the customer. Next. Yes. Next. Yeah. How robotic processes have taken over. One of our ACCA members was sharing the other day that in order to make invoices, you need to make 400 or 500 invoices. Currently, with the robotic process, all you need to do is send an instruction to the robot to prepare invoices for these customers, and you can sleep, and the robot will send all these invoices. So by the time you wake up, all the invoices are already sent out. So you imagine the this is amazing way of moving things, where anything repetitive, anything programmable, anything which has where the logic can be pre-stipulated, then you are able to let the robot do things for you. So why? So that you as a finance person become a strategic person. You as a finance person become an entrepreneurial person. Yeah, so you're not only a number person, you are a business advisor. Yeah, that is my second thought to you. You're a business advisor. Next. Yeah, I think we can skip this. Next. Yeah, this is where you are able to even write speeches using artificial intelligence. So the future of finance function runs through 6 trends. I'll just read through the trends because I want to be able to answer your Q&A later on. So the trends are organizations are more real time. All the information is not yesterday's, but today and now. Where exactly is the problem? Which branch is having an issue? Which person who's creating the issue? Which ads are working? Which ads are not working? Your social media investment, is it generating in returns or not? Everything is real time, and it's open across the organization. So you don't have to fight with the production department, with the purchasing department, and with the marketing department, because that's where finance people are always seen as the enemy of the organization, because you're busy cutting cost. But now you are able to work together with all the other departments, because your data is accessible. So when you're working on your budgets are also seen that this is the budget allocated. Whoever is using this budget will be able to see that, okay, this is the budget that was spent for marketing. This was the actual expenditure. and this was the result from that. You were able to connect it. Previously, it's just the finance guy trying to argue, hey, you spend so much, nothing happened. But now database, you will spend all of your time generating insights. Yeah, is my voice clear?
Yes, but it's okay now.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, Mr. Manish.
And traditional roles will be disappearing because you will have a new career path. This new career path is, previously when we are growing in the company, you grow vertical. You try to always go up, yeah, and go in the same department, going up in the same department. Now your career path will be like what I said. You want to explore some time in marketing, sometime in the legal, sometime in the HR, and then after that come back to that role. Yeah, so your way of thinking is not, I want to be a master of this particular job. You need to be, because I said if you're preparing yourself for leadership, you need to be able to have exposure to all the business processes. Yeah, and you need to be ready that things are virtual. Finance functions are running virtually. So if you know Shell's finance function is fully hosted in Malaysia because they are all having a shared service in Malaysia. So like that, you will be running in organizations in various parts of the world, and you're not confined by physical walls. And of course, the traditional CFO role will be on more towards strategic matters. That's why I said learn to be an entrepreneur. Become entrepreneurial in your thinking. Yeah. So this is the future of finance functions. Next. Now. Yeah. So next. Now this is what I want to bring to your attention today. These are the competencies that you need in order to be ready for such environment, disruptive environment. Yeah, where if you notice, these are the competencies from ACCA. ACCA is a professional body globally. It's in around 180 countries. I'm an ACCA member myself. So I want you to give your attention to these things. You look at these competencies and you notice the corporate reporting or your financial accounting is only one competency out of all the 10 competencies. Only corporate reporting. But if you look at what else is covered in ACCA, you need to be seeing that you need to learn leadership and management. You need to actually learn cases and study from what other companies are doing it. Yeah, the Toyota way, the Google way of doing things, the Starbucks way of doing things. Yeah, learn from those cases. So before, accountants will always think, I just want to learn financial statements. Now the whole business is under your review. So the leadership and management, you cannot run away from that. Yeah. And innovation, like that's why I said the very first module in ACCA is about business and technology. So blockchain, data analytics are part of the curriculum now. So you learning a professional qualification such as ACCA, you cannot just learn corporate reporting. You have to learn blockchain. You have to learn data analytics. You have financial management, and even the financial management requires you to know not only how to do IPO, you also need to do how to do ICO. So that's a major change. How is financing affected by such blockchain technology? Yeah, sustainability is a major thing now among finance professionals. That I'm not only thinking about the profits. I'm also thinking about the environment. I'm also thinking about the employees. How is the impact of this? So organizations are seen as contributors to the society, not just sucking from the society a certain high profits. Yes, they are contributors. And of course, taxation. assurances. Yeah, you need to learn how is the impact of technology in the world of audit. Yeah, so your forensic investigations are heavily assisted by such technologies that are available. So your audit procedure last time was do vouching. Now you have to say, oh, I need to import the data into this CAT, the computer, into the computer, and then I have to do analysis on those data, identify exceptional reporting. So your answers are not going to be same as at what your previous answers would look like. Yeah. So please be aware that things have changed even in the world of learning and education. Stakeholder relationship, you have varieties of parties to satisfy. You have the investors, you have the lenders, you have the community, you have the employees, the management, and everybody has access to all the information. Yeah, you cannot gone are the days you can tell the employee or the company is making losses, so I will not increase your salary, and so and so on. Everything is publicly available to them. Yeah, and of course ethics. So these are competencies that is offered by ACCA. Next. So I'll go briefly on this about ACCA. It's an organization set up in 1904. That's around 114 years old organization. Yeah. Next. They have 200,000 members. So members. What do members mean? So you see, you're already going to learn your bachelor's degree in BINUS or from other universities. You have an academic qualification, but having a professional qualification means you need to also learn all of these things. What we shared, what Erwin said to you about blockchain certification. You also need to learn about the ACCA impact of this blockchain into the finance and accounting. And you need to learn all these competencies that I shared with you earlier. So you need to finish all these modules. You need to also have 3 years of working experience. So what LSAF does with the students who are into the ACCA qualification is we provide work placement. Yeah, so we help you to get the 3 years of working experience, because the biggest struggle is after you finish your bachelor degree from BINUS or from wherever, whichever university, your next thing is, you'll be looking for a job, and your employer will always ask you, do you have experience? And you say, no, I'm fresh graduate. So if you have fresh graduate, they'll always pay you peanuts, and when they pay you peanuts, you act like a monkey. Yeah, because you are paid very little. So this is such a chicken and egg thing, So what we do is important that you can't call yourself that you graduated until you have the experience. So we help you with that, that you have the 3 years exposure, and then so you have finished your exams, you have your experience of 3 years, and you comply with the ethical standards. These 3 things, and then you get the ACCA title behind your name. Yeah, so that's how ACCA works. Next. Yeah, the qualification. Now, BINUS University and some other universities, particularly now we're talking about BINUS University. They have partnered with the ACCA, so there are many benefits and exemptions available for students of BINUS and some other partner universities. So I want to quickly explain to you how does the ACCA qualification works. So you look at the left end, if you can point that arrow to the left end, you have applied knowledge. So that's where the diploma in accounting and business is. So you have the first 3 modules. The first module is business and technology, management, accounting, financial accounting. You get a diploma, and then you have an advanced diploma in accounting and business. There is 6 modules. Okay. Now I want to explain that in BINUS and some other partner universities, in order to get your bachelor degree from Oxford Brookes University, all you need to do is Jonathan, if you don't mind pointing an arrow to financial reporting. Financial reporting. Yeah, financial reporting, and then audit and assurance, and then financial management. These three, the last three. These three modules, yeah, together with the research and analysis project, which is actually like your scriptsy. If you just point it down, research and analysis project, you see that RAP? Yeah, down there. Yeah, this one. So 3 modules together with the RAP, you're able to get a foreign degree. You have to attend the graduation ceremony also there abroad. So BINUS has that opportunity and some other partner universities to study only these 3 modules with an RAP, and so you get a Sarjana Economy from BINUS, and also you get a bachelor's degree from Oxford Brookes University. Yeah, so that's a B.Sc in applied accounting. After you finish that, you go to the professional level, the remaining 4 modules. So you have to do strategic business leader, which is up top there. Yeah, case study paper, 4 hours exam, 1 case, no accounting. It's purely a business paper, and then you have to do that, and then you do strategic business reporting. Why is it called strategic business reporting? Is because there is advices that you need to give, not only calculate. So normally you study calculate this profit, calculate that cost. I think now the whole exam setup is all about advice. So what? So if the profit is this, then so what? So what's next? So that kind of questions. And then after you have to choose 2 modules out of the remaining 4. So a total of 4 modules from the professional level in order to finish your ACCA. And then you top up 2 more modules from University of London. So you get a master's degree from University of London. And this is a so prestigious qualification because you are able to get M.Sc from UL, and this is issued by UCL, University College London, and you're not traveling there. Back then, I had to travel abroad to get such qualifications. Now you can get it here in Indonesia without having to spend those pound sterlings, yeah, because 1 year there is 40,000 pound sterling, so that's around 800 million rupiah. But now you only do it in Indonesia, yeah. So that's a great thing. And next. So these are the strategic partners of ACCA. If you're planning to move to Australia, you can get the CA and ANZ, Australia and New Zealand, without having to do additional exams. If you are thinking about moving to Canada, you have CPA, Chartered Professional Accountant there, Malaysia, UAE, Hong Kong, Singapore, and then many other countries. Yeah, but these are the key strategic partners. Next. There is a collaboration with EIE. So next slide. So if you are an ACCA member and you want to get CA Indonesia, all you need to do is do the Indonesian business law and Indonesian taxation. So you don't have to do the whole CA modules anymore. You only need to do these 2 modules. So you study ACCA and you add 2 modules, business law and tax, to get the CA Indonesia. On the other hand, if you are a CA member, want to get ACCA, you have to do 4 modules, the last 4 modules of ACCA. Yeah, so there is a mutual recognition between ACCA and EIE. Next. These are partner universities that I was mentioning earlier. So these universities run ACCA programs within the university setting. Next. These are the employers. Yeah, this is where I was talking about the work placement in such organizations like Prudential, HSBC, Unilever. So we will assist you with getting the interview slots in them, because these are ACCA approved employers, which means these organizations even are hosting ACCA members in their finance division, and some of the organizations even sponsor their employees to further their ACCA qualification. Yeah, so that's why it's good if you work in an ACCA approved employer. Next. Next. So when you have time, please look at the ACCA website and you will see that there is a ACCA professional quotients for success. This is a PQ test that is done by ACCA. So you're able to see, because it's not only technical skills, you have IQ, creative quotient, digital quotient, EQ, vision, and experience. So there's a test on the website. Please go ahead and have a self-test for yourself, so you know where do you stand currently. Next. Now, this is what I shared with you earlier. The career paths are now not ladder. It is a lattice. Yeah, you move out to different departments or out of the company and then come in again. This is a new way of growth currently. Next. These are some of the ACCA members. I think you would recognize Tony Fernandez. Can you show the names, Jonathan? Yeah. Yeah, video illustration. Yeah, let's play some our members' videos, those our students who are working in companies, and let's see what do they share about their success. Thanks.
Nama saya Adisti Kinanti Praga, panggilan saya Adisti. Saya berusia 22 tahun. Saya saat ini bekerja sebagai staf accounting di PT Prima Perkasa Global. Saya mengambil kualifikasi ACCA pada saat saya berkuliah semester 5 untuk program Diploma in Accounting and Business. Menurut saya, sertifikat ACCA sangat membantu saya dalam mencari kerja setelah saya lulus, karena saya sekali interview, besoknya saya diekspektasi masuk kerja, sedangkan kandidat lain harus tes berikutnya.
My name is Natalia Halim. My friends call me Natalia. I'm 22 years old, and I'm currently working as a finance graduate trainee in PT HM Sampurna Tbk. So right now I'm working in the group accounting department. More specifically, I'm working now in investors relations. So basically what we do is that we provide information to investors and to analysts regarding our financial performance. I have an advanced diploma in accounting and business from ACCA, and now I'm pursuing my bachelor's degree from Oxford Brookes University. ACCA qualification has helped me learn a broad range of knowledge, because in my role now, I'm expected to understand the financial numbers, but also at the same time relating it to the business situation right now. So these numbers have to tell a story regarding what's happening in the business. In 5 years, I would expect to have my bachelor's degree from Oxford Brookes University, and at the same time continuing the P papers. And in terms of work, I would expect to be in a more senior position in the company that I'm working at.
Hi, my name is Nandi Muhammad, but usually people call me Nandi. I'm currently 28 years old and now working in BP or British Petroleum Indonesia as finance project advisor. Now I'm doing my ACCA studies in strategic professional papers. So I take ACCA qualification for at least 2 reasons. First is because it opened my career opportunities outside Indonesia, and then the second one is because it teaches a more relevant curriculum for the new Industrial Revolution 4.0, which RPA, robotic process automation, and artificial intelligence will take many parts of our job. ACCA helps me progress through my career because now in my working place as multinational company, it is a requirement to have international certification to apply to a global vacant role. And now it's happened recently when I got promoted to be a finance advisor to Aberdeen and US. So it is because I put ACCA in my CV. My message for the ACCA young students are, first, is to always have a little extra for being an extraordinary. And for that, taking that little extra is by taking the ACCA to progress throughout your global careers. And then the second one is always to have a little extra to allocate your time every day. So by consistently allocating your time, it will be making us easier to pass ACCA examination.
My name is Alicia Yohananda Swastika. People call me Alicia or Al. I am 21 years old and I have been an ACCA affiliate for a year now. I currently work at a pharmaceutical company that manufactures betadine products. It's called Mahakam Beta Pharma. In my role, I handle a lot of activities actually. So they deal with lots of material price analysis and monitoring discounts as well, and also I help a lot in efficiencies and improvements in the manufacturing side of the company. In 5 years, I see myself in a more senior position, ideally in a consulting or advisory role, and perhaps in a different country, because I acknowledge that ACCA has global recognition, so I could definitely work in a different country. I choose consulting or advisory because I enjoy evaluating and analyzing business processes and their internal structure, and trying to come up with ways on how to make them more efficient. I would very much enjoy helping companies by providing professional advice to help them become better in what they do.
Okay, Mr. Manish, I just want to remind that your time is just only 5 minutes left.
All right, sure. Thank you. Next slide. Yeah, so these are basically some job ads that we wanted to show, which require ACCA. Next slides. Next. Bank of Singapore. Next. Yeah, next. Yeah, go ahead. Next. Yeah, we spoke about this. Next. Yeah, a quick one on the plan for university students that are present in the forum today. That if you are thinking about getting ACCA qualification together with the Oxford Brookes University as a dual award, what you could do is start the class in September 2020 this year, and then prepare for the December exam. So our proposed module is to finish the financial reporting first for December, okay, and then subsequently start in January and do the exam in March for audit and assurance, and then start in March and finish the exam in June for financial management, and then start in July and submit your semi-thesis, research analysis project by November to the Oxford Brookes University to get a bachelor's degree. There are many other professional bodies here, like CIMA, ICAW, and many other bodies. One of the things that distinguishes us is we have these academic awards from Oxford Brookes University and University of London, and also the fact that our modules have a range of modules, including technology. So this is something that you need to consider. I think that will be my last slide. And the contact person, I think we want to show you, I think we need your details to print out your certificates. Before that, the slide before that. Yeah, please go to this link and put in your details. So we'll print out certificates for those who have joined the session today. Yeah, so it's bit.ly BINUS International Seminar. Yeah, I hope you got that. Next. Yeah, this is the contact person. Those who are interested to pursue the blockchain and the ACCA qualification, you can contact us, Budames, for non-BINUS, and for BINUS students, you can contact Mr. Ignatius Edward Riantono. Yeah, so these are the contact numbers. All right, I think that's all from my side. Over to you.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Manish Gidwani and Mr. Erwin Gunawan. Okay, both of them were very, very great presentations, and also make us more understand about blockchain and blockchain impact on accounting and finance also. As we know, based on the slides that delivered by Mr. Erwin and Mr. Manish, we can say that we have entered Industrial Revolution 4.0 that create many sophisticated technologies such as artificial intelligence, data analytics, cloud technology, and blockchain also, which could have professional companies to protect their asset, the flow of information, and minimize the fraud. One of the technologies is blockchain technology. Blockchain technology will play a role in financial industry, especially in accounting and finance. It says that blockchain could be a game changer in the company's performance during their activities to get maximum profit, which make transactions peer-to-peer and distributed ledger. So it could make the transactions to be transparent. Because of the statement, many financial industries have invested their money to improve the implementations of blockchain technology. Besides blockchain, there are several technologies that could improve the quality of the company by applying modern software during operational activities. The software must be integrated and trusted to assure the quality of the data. And Mr. Manish also explained about ACCA. Do you guys interested in joining ACCA and become ACCA members? We hope. Okay, now let us move to the question and answer session. All of the participants can ask the questions, whether you can chat in the chat box, or you can raise hand. For the first, I open for 3 questions. As I mentioned before, guys, we have spectacular expert about blockchain. Please take advantage of this opportunity to ask them a question. Okay, I think we have the questions from Agustinus Winoto. Good afternoon, Mr. Manish and Mr. Erwin. How is Indonesia preparing to accept the blockchain technology and what it takes to make sure blockchain is widely accepted in Indonesia? So, Mr. Manish or Mr. Erwin?
Yeah, I think Erwin, go ahead first.
Okay, well, like I mentioned also in my presentations, the technology is undeniably powerful. Countries all over the world already have some kind of law to govern the technology to be used in its countries. How can Indonesia, for example, accept the technology is pretty much with the help of you guys. You know, me and Manish here and BINUS, we're trying to spread the words. You know, we're trying to educate people more and see, hoping you guys can come up with different ways and use cases to be implemented. You know, in different companies in Indonesia. The government itself, what I been seeing is very, very supportive. You know, their organization, a lot of government organization already talk about blockchain, already implement blockchain. For example, in taxations, part of taxations already use blockchain technology, so they already open to the technology. So I hope that's enough.
Yeah, you know, Pa Erwin and Pa Kevin, you know, it requires a lot of willingness to be able to do something with results in a lot of transparency. And transparency requires willingness, because if you imagine, if you connect this to taxation and integrity of the financial statements, I mean, are the Indonesian companies ready to have that kind of transparency? I mean, there's always this reluctance, you know, I don't want to be transparent, I don't want to pay so much of tax, I don't want to do what these things are easier. If it is things are easier, then I will not make much money, better, more complex, you know. There is this lot of cultural issues here with regard to this. So anything advancing comes with a lot of reluctance. So I think it's more of cultural matter. With terms of regulators also, I think they will only respond when people like us respond. You know, like last time there was resistance to Gojek. there was resistance to all this online transportation, but eventually the government saw the need, and then eventually they started regulating it. Currently, even banks, they are not allowed yet to use blockchain, because actually they see the benefit. We have spoken to bankers. They see that if we can have blockchain and use it, the OJK and this one, the what you call the regulators, they can check on our transactions in this blockchain. Things will be so much easier. Otherwise, because we are doing so much of transfer of information from OJK to bank to the LMS and all these organizations, but it requires regulators. Regulators will only respond if the users start making noise, that there is an easier way of doing things. If things are easier, why not do things easier? Why make things complex? Yeah, so that's my response to that.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Erwin and Mr. Manish. So go on to the next questions from Frederick Samsi, one of our students. Blockchain use the internet in its use. However, as we know, the internet can be very vulnerable to fraud, such as cybercrime. So what do you think about possibility of fraud? What percentage is the possibility of fraud in the blockchain? And related to Frederick questions, Wana Wijaya said, is the blockchain 100% safe from fraud or errors? So Mr. Erwin or Mr. Manish?
Okay.
This?
Well, there are two things that I like to differentiate, right, between frauds and hacking and tamperable. The technology itself, it's untamperable. It's very, very. It cannot be changed. Whatever you put in the technology in the distributed ledger is there to stay. So everyone in the network, all the nodes will be able to see whatever you put there. To be able to hack it is almost impossible, not only because of the cryptography designed to code the blockchain, but also because of its distributed. To hack a Pentagon, for example, or BCA, Bank BCA, it's not easy but doable. It happens all the time, because the server, it's centralized. All those hackers just keep hitting the server over and over again to figure out how to get in. And then once a year, a few times a year, they're able to do it. With blockchain, it's not just one server. Cloud-based, and it distributed among a lot of nodes. In the case of Bitcoin, millions. Now, how can a hacker hack millions? It's almost impossible, right? That's one. Now, fraud. Oh my God, a lot of fraud in cryptocurrencies, for example. It's just being used bad, for bad people trying to raise money. They create tokens, they try to sell their tokens, increase the value, and then suddenly gone. That's fraud. So we have to be able to differentiate. The technology can be used for many different things, to fraud people, or like Pak Manish been saying all along, is to help, to improve our life, pretty much, industries. So, Pak Manish, you're welcome to add. If you like.
Yeah. I do think
very good question.
Fraud is really what the users want to use it for. Yeah, it's like the gun. Yeah, you want to use it for protection or for killing. Yeah, so blockchain has been misused because there's no underlying. There's no underlying of. So that's why if more finance people are involved, and there are reviewers, those who are reviewing the white paper, accounting firms who are able to see that you have a token, what is the underlying? Can the underlying be verified? That there is an actual asset, that there is an actual transaction, actual hotel, school that is willing who has already tokenized this asset. So if there is a so-called token auditors, who are able to see this, then you already have a very good way of assuring that this is a valid business. But now things are still in an early stage where people are able to use it to put any sort of business value, and which can't be verified yet. So that's why it's important to see when you're investing in any tokenized asset, including a building, you need to be able to see that is it a valid business. So you still need to do your due diligence as a regular process.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Mr. Erwin and Mr. Manish. So go on to the next questions from Catherine, one of our students. Previously, you explained the advantages of blockchain. Are there any disadvantages to it? Also, can blockchain be used other than in cryptocurrency, for example, in recording medical or legal data? Thank you. So, Mr. Erwin or Mr. Manish?
Yeah. Go ahead, Erwin.
All right. Okay. Great questions. Very good questions. This slide showing how blockchain can be used for many different industries. Healthcare is one of the best example. For example, right now in Indonesia, I'm working closely with cares.id, an entity who try to collect data and protect data patients. So right now, for example, when I go to Hospital A has my data, my blood works, my testing results, everything, right? Now, imagine if I travel to Singapore and something bad happened, knock on the wood, something bad happened, for example, and I got, treated in their hospital. They don't know anything about me, Now, imagine the use of blockchains. If let's say I store all my health information in a blockchain technology, I have a key code for it. I can travel all over the world, and I just give my key code to the hospital, and they will able to access my data and really understand who I am. So, and then it protected, they cannot hack it. I just give whatever information they need with the key code. And then that's it. I take back the after they done it, after they use it, it can be avoided. So yes, to answer to your question, it really can be used in the healthcare industry.
Yeah. Also about the legal documents. Yeah, I mean, like I said, legal documents were always on paper, but firstly, paper now is so easy to Photoshop things. Yeah, so easy to move, show anything that you like. Yeah, so but with having a digital document which is already digitally verified in a distributed ledger, when it comes to any legal documents, there's so much of credibility to that document, because it can't be tampered, like what I have been explained. So in fact, today's whole session was, look, blockchain technology is not about Bitcoin. It's not about cryptocurrency. That is only one way how the technology was used, but essentially blockchain is an accounting technology. So I think that's where finance accounting professionals need to actually take a lead in this, and don't give the lead to those people who are simply trying to make money out of the technology in terms of the cryptocurrency. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Erwin, Mr. Manish, and go on to the next questions. As we know, the economic situation is not really stable right now. Is there any significant impact on the blockchain and the Bitcoin lately? Sorry, thank you.
Any impact? I mean, depending on what we are talking. Okay, if we talk about cryptocurrency, of course, yes, it's like just stock market is up and down. Any situation will affect. But for the technology itself, it impact. It has more needs in these situations. When everything now go digital, right? The way we live our life with the COVID is gonna be different. Like right now, we're doing webinar, informations being exchanged online. Not too long ago, Zoom being hacked, right? A lot of our information's lost, and people just can hack to the webinar, to the Zoom meeting, and just play different things. So the needs of blockchain in these situations, it's more, in my opinion. People are more need more to protect themselves in many different ways, and the technology can help that. Yeah.
Okay.
I have nothing to add. Let's proceed.
Okay, thank you. Because the limitation of time, we just only answered 2 last questions from Felicia and from Pak Kriswanto, one of our lecturers. Okay, from Felicia. As we know that the advanced technology can lead people smarter to utilize technology to minimize fraud. But in the same time, hackers are smarter to steal the data for the personal gain. Is it possible for blockchain to always suitable with the situations?
Okay. Well, what happening now? What I've been seeing, like stolen identity, stolen data. The hacker is not necessarily hack the blockchain, the technology itself, but they hack the computer of the users to access the key code, to access the password. That's what's happening. So, for example, I put my wallet password on my laptop, and my laptop being hacked. The hacker got my password and stole my money in my wallet. So that's what's happening a lot of the time too. The blockchain itself, depending on how you use it, it's like what I mentioned with Pak Manish, is untamperable and unhackable. Yep, I hope it's answered your questions.
Okay, the last questions is from Pak Kriswanto, one of our lecturers. Pak Erwin, about the blockchain as user, can we register to use as customer? Is it the same like cloud?
Well, the technology itself is programmable. Depending on the company, depending on what we use the technology for. Yes, people can take advantage of it. For example, with Indodex, I create a wallet there, so I able to buy and sell cryptocurrencies. So to answer Pak Kriswanto is yes. Depending on the use cases.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Erwin and Mr. Manish. So I'm so sorry because the limitation of time, we will close the sections. Thank you so much, Mr. Erwin, Mr. Manish, for all the explanations. So I want to give the floor back to Archie as our MC today. Archie?
Okay. Well, thank you, Mr. Erwin Gunawan, Mr. Manish Gidwani, and Mr. Kevin Deniswara for the opportunities and also the knowledge that we could have in this morning. I believe that today is the best day to get new insights and would be essential for us here regarding a new era which is based on digitalization innovative that we have entered right now. And now for the last part, we are going to have documentation section. Please make sure to turn on your camera so we can take the photo together. To Mr. Ino, please turn on your camera, please. Thank you.
Okay, everyone, please turn on your camera first. Okay, we will start our photo shoot session. Okay, for the first page, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Okay, for the second page, 1, 2, 3. For the third page, 1, 2, 3. For the fourth page, 1, 2, and 3.
How many pages, Ino?
12.
Okay.
So, this is a 5 page, 1, 2, 3. Okay. For the 6 page, 1, 2, and 3. 7, 1, 2, 3. 8. 9. Okay, last page, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you so much.
Well, that wraps up our morning. On behalf of Accounting Study Program BINUS University and Association of Chartered Certified Accountants, I would like to thank Mr. Erwin Gunawan, Mr. Manish Gidwani, Mr. Kevin Deniswara, Mrs. Ang Swatlin Lindawati, Ms. Hani Karunia, committees from Accounting and Finance Laboratory, and all of you for making time in your busy schedules to join here this morning. It's been our pleasure to host this event, and I wish you all a pleasant day. Stay safe and see you on another event. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you so much.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Manish, Mr. Erwin, Miss Hani, and all of the committee, could you please stay in this Zoom? And we want to take the pictures for all of the committee and us also. Jonathan or Ino.
I'm sorry, Mr. Kevin. For all participants from BINUSian, don't forget to submit your summary with the deadline tonight. Thank you. And now you may leave.